Kim Tesch-Vaught is the executive director of Florida Works. Before that, she was the vice president of workforce at the Gainesville Area Chamber of Commerce. Kim has more than 7 years of experience in Florida's workforce system. Kim holds Bachelor of Science degrees in Education and Human Development and Social Policy from Northwestern University. Kim is a certified professional in organizational management by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce Institute for Organizational Management. She also serves on the Florida Chamber Foundation's 6 Pillars, the framework for organization of strategic planning at local, regional, and state levels. Kim is on the Talent, Supply, and Education Pillar, guiding the development of the statewide 20-year strategic plan that supports high-paying jobs, qualified workforce, global competitiveness, and vibrant communities. Kim is a member of the Early Learning Coalition Board and the Life South Community Advisory Board. Welcome, Kim.
Thank you.
So, I had the pleasure of interviewing Angela Torres-Pate, who was the previous executive director, a couple of times, and was thinking that, you know, since there's been a transition there, that this would be a good time to get you on and to talk about that change. And I understand Angela fired herself. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. Tell us about that.
Well, actually, she has a different role with Florida Works. She's our Chief Information Officer. And if you go to our website, thefloridaworksonline.com, which is getting ready to change, we have some board priorities. And one of that is to be subject matter experts in the areas of workforce, but to also use the data that we're collecting to affect policy change. And the data is really where Angela would like to really focus on. So in our community, you have 2 for 1. You have the past executive director, you have a current executive director, and it creates a pretty powerful knowledge bank for our community.
And is she staying in line?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Yeah. You know, right at the beginning of the show, you've got a huge change coming up.
Yes.
And we're going to be reinforcing that change digitally and graphically throughout the show. But tell us about the name change.
Well, officially it will happen in February statewide. But we had part of the Workforce Accountability Act that was passed is a feasibility study on what it would be like to have the state of Florida be more competitive by having the 24 workforce regions and the state under one umbrella, one name. And there was a year-long study that they did and did market research, worked with employers, worked with job seekers, worked with all of the one-stop staff across the state. And the name that they came up with was Career Source Florida. And then each of the 24 regions have a geolocator tied to it. So we are going to be Career Source North Central Florida.
I see.
And that will officially change second week in February.
And we've got the logo that we're showing probably right now.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
So, but it's not that you're changing the organization. I mean,
No.
the organization stays the same. You're doing some new and exciting things, but it's just bringing a recognition.
Overall, the desire is to make Florida more competitive
Right.
As a state, and that together with all the 24 workforce regions and the state having that same name, we're leveraging all of our resources. Hopefully it positions the state for different recognition. And once a company decides, I have some operations that maybe I want to expand or relocate, and I come to the state of Florida, they're not looking at 24 different offices, that truly branding that we partner and collaborate together. And by changing that name, it just makes us more effective in the marketplace.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the history of Florida Works, soon to be Career Source North Central Florida. I may not say that every time.
Well, we're trying. We're having to practice too. Yeah.
Approximately when did this whole effort get together, and how did it spring up?
Well, with the Department of Labor, I usually give people kind of an explanation of what is the workforce development system, because most people don't understand that it's actually a program of the Department of Labor. It's a federal program. Our tax dollars are allocated to all 50 states through what is now Florida's job centers. And each state has the ability to deliver workforce services based on employer as the main customer, because truly, if we're going to help somebody get ready for a job and be successful in that search, then we really need to have the employer as our main customer, so we understand what they're looking for now, what they're looking for in the future, which then allows us to communicate with the job seekers of the trends. This is what we have in our area now, this is what's coming in 3 years, 5 years. So the challenge has been with the Workforce Investment Act, when they did the reauthorization. Right now it's in 1998, but prior to that, they really wanted to move it to a system that truly would do job matching, employer to the talent that we have in our community, and then making sure that based on employer feedback that we are training the talent for the ability to get a job when they're done with training. So in our community, in our region, which is Alachua and Bradford counties, we have a very visionary group of legacy leaders who have made sure that we are utilizing the resources as efficiently, as effectively, with the biggest impact. And for our community, that meant doing something a little bit unique that we haven't seen replicated across the country. So our board does not have employees, and that's very unique. What our board has chosen to do is hire a management company that then does the business of the board.
Right.
So Focus Management Solutions is the company that, or our administrative entity, and we contract with our chambers of commerce. In Alachua County, we work with the Gainesville Area Chamber of Commerce. In Bradford County, we work with the North Florida Regional Chamber of Commerce. They're the entities that work with our businesses. So our business services teams are actually housed in the Chamber of Commerce.
I see.
Our one-stop operator is the Institute for Workforce Innovation. That has a long history of expertise in delivering programs, training programs, working with people.
And Kim, just so folks know where, I understand the chamber is right downtown on University Avenue,
right.
but where is the one-stop center?
The one-stop is at 4800 Southwest 13th Street in Alachua County, and then it's along 301 in Bradford County. So we have 2 locations. The chamber does the business interaction in Bradford County there, also here. And we have our business services staff housed at the Chamber of Commerce, and we also have them, part of their team housed at the One Stop.
You were mentioning your board, and one of the things that I really admire about the whole public-private and cooperations that you all have put together is you have, not only is the quantity of your board members impressive, but the quality of your board members. It's really a who's who of the 2 counties, and you have like 50 or 100 board members? It's not that many.
It's not that many.
Okay.
And it's not just the who's who's, it's the people that have a heart to serve, and they understand these are our tax dollars. So they're business people. 51% of the board by law is representative business. Again, that goes towards that business-led focus. So we make sure that how we're spending our dollars are going to be what people need to get jobs. So we have board members on the county from both Alachua and Bradford County. One other groups that we work with in Bradford County is CIS, Community and Schools, and SISTO, Transportation, because there are no taxis or buses in Bradford County.
Right.
So what's unique about having representatives in Alachua County and Bradford County, the counties are very different in what they need. But because we have this collaborative board, we're able to make decisions on the dollars to serve the unique needs of each of those communities.
See. And you mentioned almost 100% of your funding is
these are federal dollars.
Right.
Yes.
Now, do some pass through the state?
It passes through the state.
Okay.
So if you look at the illustration, you have the governor's office, you have the Department of Economic Opportunity that also oversees Enterprise Florida, and then Workforce Florida, which is a public-private partnership. And Workforce Florida does the policy and the visioning, and DEO makes sure that we're doing what we're supposed to do with the tax dollars.
You have so many programs, and I want to get to all of them.
Okay.
But since we're talking about the relatively new director, why don't we talk about the relatively new programs first? Can you talk about the BASIC program? That seems very exciting.
Okay. So the BASIC, one of the things about Department of Labor, it's alphabet soup. Everything has acronyms, and that's, you have to come up with something that you can say and remember. BASIC stands for the Business Advocacy and Self-Employment Consortium, and this is what we put together as a way to describe the partnership and collaboration in our community. And what we did, Workforce Innovation Fund, was created to take promising practices, something that maybe has been piloted, and then fund it in a way that could be replicated. And one of the things that our region has been recognized for, and it absolutely hats off to the Chamber of Commerce with the Innovation Gainesville and the biggest impact, because it took everybody in our community, all of the stakeholders out of their silos, put them around the table and created these relationship opportunities where we began to see the abundance in our community, the resources that we have, and it really changed from kind of a scarcity mentality of, especially with the recession starting to happen, that we could have, as some communities did, kind of hunkered down and waited for it to pass. Our community decided, here's our golden opportunity that we need to be looking 10, 20, 30 years out, where do we want to be? And what it allowed us to do was take people that knew each other on paper, but had never sat around the table and started describing and understanding what they do. And one of the unique things that came out of that was the Startup Quest program. And you'll see Angela Pate or Jane Muir, we have a video on our website that talks about that aha moment. That aha moment would not have happened had it not been for visionary leadership of Sonia Douglas, who was on our board at the time, and brought some of that visioning back to the chamber, discussions that started at the workforce table that said, as a community, we need to be planning ahead. So the Startup Quest program was funded through a $174,000 pilot to do taking university technology, the Office of Technology and Licensing, and matching our out-of-work STEM professionals from PhD, masters, and bachelors, and creating simulated companies, teams of a scientist, a program manager, a marketing person, and a mentor, this successful business mentor from our community as the coach, and creating a simulated company so that people began to understand the process of bringing technology to market.
And this is the entrepreneurial training.
That's the entrepreneurial
program,
training.
which is a subset of Startup Quest.
Well, that is Startup Quest.
That is Startup Quest.
Basic, what's unique about that is we applied for this grant.
Right.
And because we were able to demonstrate the collaboration within our community between the college, the university, the Chamber of Commerce, and our workforce system, they funded us at $12 million, and that was the highest award tier. There were 3 tiers, and there were only 5 awards given in that round of the Workforce Innovation Fund. 2 went to states, 2 went to counties, and 1 came here to our Regional Workforce Board.
Wow.
And what that means is we took our pilot project, and it's being replicated in 8 other workforce regions in the state of Florida. And that's, so here in Gainesville, Tallahassee, Jacksonville, Daytona, Brevard, the Broward and Fort Lauderdale area, Tampa, and Pinellas. So what we're doing is, that large award came with some challenges because it's an evaluation project. We have a control and a treatment group. So we basically have 40% of the workforce in the state of Florida are being trained in entrepreneurship, because we know even if we fill every job that we have right now, there are still 2 people looking for a job. So the focus is find a customer if you can't find a boss.
And I know you have, the program is exciting. I've been downtown when Startup Quest is happening.
Right.
And it attracts a huge number of folks. And I know that people create business plans or become part of a kind of a simulated process. You have a workshop coming up for the next one,
Yes.
right?
Yes, the introductory workshop is March 11th. So if you go to our website, thefloridaworksonline.com, it's not changing over to CareerSource North Central Florida until February. So floridaworksonline.com, you will find all that information. You will also find the history and some testimonials.
Right.
And if we have job seekers that are interested in plugging into this ecosystem of entrepreneurship, this is one of the entrepreneurship training programs that we have available.
Highly recommend that citizens take a look at this. It
Yes.
looks like it's really exciting. Another new program is the H-Bot program. It sounds like an Austin Powers
Right,
thing,
yeah.
but
Another acronym is kind of
H-Bot.
catchy. It's catchy,
It
right?
is.
You can remember it.
I did. What does H-Bot stand for?
Healthcare Biomanufacturing Occupational and Technology Training Program. So these are all mouthfuls.
Yeah, H-Bot.
H-Bot.
And what is H-Bot?
What this does is provide on-the-job training opportunities for our local businesses. And we have $3 million that we were able to make available to the businesses to apply for. And again,
is this part of the 12 million?
This is a different. This is a different federal
separate
grant, and this is what's kind of really wonderful about the leadership that we have at our board level, and because of the partnership that we have. The way workforce is funded, it's counter-cyclical. The better the economy does, the less money you're getting to deliver these workforce services.
Right.
And we work very hard to keep people, to get people employed. Work first rather than the cash assistance that they could be eligible for. But many times, getting a job is a better way to go, unless you need training and things like that. And the other thing is we have one of the lowest unemployment rates in the state.
Right.
So the better we do at getting people to work and the lower unemployment, the less money we get as a region. So it is a priority of our board to go after those federal dollars directly,
Right.
because that's what allows us to continue to support the tremendous work of University of Florida and all of their outreach with the Innovation Hub and the focus on creating businesses, Chamber of Commerce, Council for Economic Outreach. We have to have training dollars, and we have to go after the big federal dollars.
Sounds like you guys do a pretty good grant.
We would not be able to have the success that we have without the partnership and collaboration that we have.
Right, right. We have so many things to go over, and time is ticking away, and I want to get to these things because I so admire the variety of services you offer. So we're going to do kind of a lightning round. I'm going to throw things out at you, and you can tell me about them. I know you have career developers and case managers.
Right.
Now, is that down at the One Stop Center?
Yes.
So what happens? What service do you provide in there?
So we can go into the alphabet soup kind of thing. So I made a kind of a list here.
Okay.
But what I really want to communicate that anybody that is looking to improve their skills, if they have a job and they want a better job, if it's the first time entering the job market, if life has happened and you've just had to step out of the workforce for a while and you're a little rusty and you don't even know where to start, we have something for everybody at Florida Works.
Throughout the entire spectrum of jobs?
Yes.
Kind of
Degree,
career.
no degree,
Yeah.
experience, not any experience. And there are multiple programs. So you'll hear someone talk about TANF and welfare transition. So those are the programs that we have available for people to just get some experience. And there's a work requirement in there when you're receiving the temporary assistance for needy families. That's what the acronym is. And we have some of the highest we're ranked top in the state because our staff is so dedicated to helping people be successful. But you have to have skin in the game, and that's one of the things that I really try and communicate to both the employers and the job seekers. The programs that we have available to help both the employer and the job seeker require a little bit of work. These are federal dollars, these are government dollars, and it's like getting a scholarship almost. You have to show that you are eligible that you have the age, the identification to show that you're eligible to work.
But some people can be overwhelmed by it, so you help navigate those systems for
right.
them. Yeah.
And I will put our staff up against any staff in the country. We have an incredible team of people with a heart to serve. And just to give you an idea of the volume, we have about 35 people between both of our one-stops, and then we have our business services team on top of that. But we have traffic between 42 and 4,800 people a month. And that might be one person coming in 5 or 6 times, but that still touches. So do the math on, you have different people serving in different programs. So with our welfare transition program, very small staff.
Right.
We have the universal customer, and that's anyone walking in the door. The first thing we're going to ask, are you registered in employflorida.com? Because that is how we use the job matching between what the employer is looking for, because they've posted jobs in employflorida.com. The job seeker has to be registered in that system in order for us to do some matching. And with
Is that a state database?
That's a state database. And it is, it has its challenges, just like anything that you're going to do online when you're applying. Different companies have their applications, but we always encourage every job seeker, register as a job seeker in employflorida.com. I also go the extra to say use the resume wizard and the background wizard, because what that does is activate the keyword function. So when we're helping the employer, they're either putting the job into the system themselves, or our business services team is helping the employer do that. The job seeker, by doing Resume Wizard and Background Wizard, activates the keyword function, so that then our career developers can go in and say, company X is looking for this type of employee, pull all of the resumes or the individuals that are registered that meet this criteria.
And certainly tracking data is an essential part,
Yes.
particularly when you're dealing with federal dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what are some of the services, the other services? So you come in, you register on this website. What are the practical things?
Because that's how we track what are we doing with the time.
Yeah.
Then it becomes based on if we're looking at the job seeker side of it, what do they need? How much help do they need?
Right.
So that is where they can come to workshops. Maybe they just want to brush up on interviewing skills. Maybe they're interested in training. If you do that, then you want to go to one of our WIA orientations, because that's the first step.
WIA?
Workforce Investment Act.
Okay.
Those are the training dollars.
Okay.
So that's more intensive services.
And do you have businesses you work with that have training available, and are you able to help fund that?
Yes, so a grant like the Tesch-Vaught grant can help with that.
Uh-huh.
But those individual training dollars are based on the eligibility of the job seeker.
I see.
So if you've been laid off, if you're out of work, it depends on your eligibility. We also have special services for veterans. So we have multiple services that when you walk in the door, you register in Employ Florida, because that automatically gets you started in the job search. And the beauty of this program is you don't have to come to the one stop. Anywhere that there's a computer with internet, once you're registered in the system, you do want to write down your login and password, because you need that to get back in. Mm-hmm. You can do this from home, but for some people, you need to be around people. So coming to a workshop is a really easy way to brush up on your skills and have that human contact.
What if you don't have a computer? Are you out of luck? Or?
No, you can come to the One Stop. We have dozens of computers there. We have fax machines, we have phones. If you need resume paper, you can set up an email, because many of the employers don't use snail mail. Everything is done online.
Right.
And if you need some help, you can come to different workshops. And again, we have the calendar that says all the different trainings that we're doing. The job preparation, job readiness, job development, there's all different kinds of ways that you can describe it. But it's really based on what the individual is looking for. We have a very highly educated workforce in our area, and one of the things that we have is a professional networking group that meets on Monday evenings. So right now it's currently called the Connect program.
And this is again down at the One Stop facility?
Well, no, that one's interesting. So you look on the calendar for the Connect to see where it's located,
so
because
it's a movable
it's
beast.
movable, and what's nice is it's a partnership between the Gainesville Chamber of Commerce, Florida Works, and then the Society of Human Resource Managers in our area. And it's a once-a-week opportunity for professional job seekers. So you have to have a degree, or at least 5 years, I believe, of continuous service in an area. Okay. And what that allows you to do is get you out of the house, number one.
Right.
And we do mini interviews once a month, and because
like
we're
role playing?
No, real interviews.
Oh, real?
Mini interviews.
Ah.
So what's nice is that this is a partnership with the Society of Human Resource Managers, so it's the actual HR directors that are helping run this program, and companies take turns hosting it. So each month it goes to a different place in the area. So again, it gets you out into the community, because that's one of the hardest parts of the job search, is presenting yourself, marketing yourself.
Right.
So here's a once-a-week opportunity to get tips on how to do that.
Now you've got the professional networking group, but then you go all the way to the other end of the spectrum and you have youth programs as well, right?
Yes.
Tell me about those.
Oh, the youth programs are outstanding, and because of how the partnerships and who we have as part of our One-Stop program, the Institute for Workforce Innovation also has the Youth Build program, and you've heard, we've had some tremendous successes there. But what's nice about the youth program is it really focuses on job preparation, so creating relevance of when you're in school, why it matters, but it's also preparing for that career job search. And we provide paid internships for eligible youth. In
conjunction with businesses that are participating in this?
Yes, and most people remember it as a summer program, but we now do these year-round. They do a lot of career development, leadership training, different things. If people need help with math and English, because you definitely want to score well, And it's the ability to match people to the resources that can help them help themselves.
Right.
And you know, sometimes you have to do a little bit extra work if you're struggling in an area. And what we try and do, regardless of your age, regardless of your experience, that when you come to the One Stop, if we don't have the services, we're going to refer you to someone in the community that does. But we're also going to refer you to online resources that are available. And you have the computer lab that you can do this. We have training that we have assessments that you can do. So there's many ways that you can make yourself comfortable in the job search, more competitive in the job search. But many times it's the ability to talk to another person that keeps you from isolating, and a lot of it's attitude. You know, if you have a goal that you want to reach, that's what our team is dedicated to, really make sure that the tools that are available to you, you know about them, you know how to access them.
I know you all do a lot of job fairs. I see that big Florida Works banner that's going to have to be changed now.
Yes.
So you work with the chamber on those, or you work with other companies?
Everybody.
You do it all.
We work with the churches.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, the churches do some of the very best job fairs. Commissioner Hinton-Rawls is absolutely passionate about job fairs, so we've partnered with her for the last couple of years with the City of Gainesville, Lonnie Scott, Commissioner Hinton-Rawls, and the whole team at the City of Gainesville. We've had lines out the door for the past 2 years.
And I know, don't we have county commissioners on the
yes,
on
we
the
do.
board?
We
too?
have Lee Pinkeson serves on our board, and Commissioner Susan Baird is now going to serve on our dual county consortium.
And what would you like to say to people? We're about out of time, but really, if you are looking for work, or if you're looking to upgrade your work, it sounds like you really have something for everybody there. And,
yes. I have Dana is our welfare transition manager, and she says it better than anybody. Kindness and common courtesy is something that when you walk in the door, our staff understands there's a story.
Right.
And when you walk in, you're going to be met with a staff that has worked with 4,500 people in the month. And each of them has a story. And we just strive to meet the person where they are. And sometimes that first interaction might not be great, because the person that is there to help you may not have brushed off and be able to shake off the interaction they've just had with someone who's had something devastating.
Right.
And we do our best to help. But I think that what our staff has really done is, when you're ready, the services are here. If the interaction doesn't go well the first time, come back. And there's enough management available. You know, you can get people can get a hold of me. My information is pretty public. And I do get calls at night, on the weekends. And usually when the call comes to me, it's a crisis moment. But I can pick up the phone and talk with staff. And because we do that tracking, they can tell me, this is the history, this is what has happened. And we figure out how to remove those obstacles. The biggest thing is, we're here to empower people to help themselves.
Well, we're going to have you back because we've run out of time. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
For coming.
Appreciate it.
Hey, how's it going? Meet my friend Lou. Lou only says something when it's very important. Right now, he's saying replace my battery. Now he's saying fire, get out of the house. Once this guy gets going, there's no shutting him up.
Smoke alarms, a sound you can live with.